is a guy who helps for a living. Anybody who's anybody. I mean, I feel like I want to sit here until I change your mind about that.
No, because I was assaulted. I've never been assaulted in my whole life.
I understand.
And he did nothing.
But that's not true.
Nothing.
Hold on. That's not true.
Hold on. He did nothing.
Hold on. Stop.
And then my thing is, I almost went to jail. I almost lost my freedom. I almost lost everything I worked so hard for. And that's not funny. That's nothing to joke about.
I'm not joking about it.
When you're facing jail time, when she pressed charges or order protection, all this stuff. I've never been arrested in my life. I've lived in New York, never had a problem with anybody, never had a fight, never had anybody get in my face and
how
touch
difficult
me.
it was.
And I went to him and I told him, I even filed a police report. He did nothing. Not one thing to help me.
That's not true. I'm looking at the texts.
I felt like I had no one on my side. And here I am getting up early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, because Hector goes in the bathroom for 2 hours to keep me from going to the bathroom, takes hot showers. Every other weekend, he has his kids running up and down the stairs,
Stop. Have you ever felt in your whole life like anyone's been on your side?
No.
Yeah, that's the problem.
No.
Because I can't imagine. I mean,
and you guys are making him out like he's a good guy. He wasn't a good guy. When I needed him, he did nothing for me.
It's not true.
Nothing.
We're seeing it.
Nothing.
What I want to ask you.
And he was on her side every day. And it took a year and a half to get her out.
Okay.
When the incident happened in June.
Hold on. As a judge who presides over landlord-tenant disputes, it is so hard to kick someone out of a place that they're living. I think if I were a legislator, it is unfairly hard. But that is what the government, that's what the legislation, a different body of the government, not the judicial branch, the legislative branch, has chosen. But this guy was doing a ton. It is not his lack of action, okay? It's the way the system is created. It's not him failing to act on your behalf. Were you paying rent into an escrow account?
What do you mean, an escrow account?
So when you decide you're going to withhold rent because the place is uninhabitable, you have an obligation for exactly this reason, to show that you're doing it in good faith, to set up an account and pay the rent there each month and say, I'm not giving it to you because I'm not living in a safe place, but I'm paying it here, it's right here. And I have the money, and once you cure these problems, you'll get your money from now on. But you weren't doing that.
I didn't think about that. I should have done that, but I didn't think about it
It's really important because that is one of the critical things. And I'm looking at these text messages, and I'm seeing that in December and January and February, you were telling him, I'm going to pay you. I'm going to pay you. I owe you $5,000. I owe you this. I owe you this.
And I was, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm going to open this up to my colleagues in case they have other questions for you.
Let's get to the text messages. Page 30. It starts off where you say, oh, my God, well, I'm glad Hector is moving. I will give you some money and moving soon. Right? Yeah. You didn't know that, did you?
Not at all.
Next.
Well, I meant it. I'm glad he's moving. I meant it.
Everything too.
I will give you some money. So even then in January of this year, after all of this, where you told him you owed him $5,100 in December, then you change your mind, you still tell him you give him money. And he says, amen, thanks. He's thanking you for paying what will likely be a small portion of what you owe him.
But can I take a stab in the dark? Have you ever broken up a fight between students and gotten injured in the process? You're that teacher. That's who I married too, the one who's breaking up fights and getting hurt in the process. And I keep telling him, don't do it. And he says, but I just want to help. So don't do that either anymore.
Good.
All right, the parties are excused while we deliberate in this matter. Thank you all.
I don't really see much to this. I know she claims that the place was, I guess her claim is that it's uninhabitable, but I think, Rachel, you pointed out that she didn't take any of the steps that a tenant should take when they're withholding rent because the landlord has created an uninhabitable situation.
And also, she was lying to him, saying, I'm buying a house, don't worry.
It was bizarre. She admitted in text that she owed $5,100 in rent. That's over our maximum.
Over the maximum.
So he's entitled to every dime.
Every dime.
So, I mean, he was just way too nice.
He did too much.
Frustrated.
He did too much. And that's why I said, you know, are you breaking up fights and getting hurt in the process, right? That's when it's too much, you know? So I don't think we're going to change him, nor probably should we, but.
She called him a friend and a good person. That's what I'm going to stand by.
And that's what he is.
And that's what he was. So
he's entitled to every dollar. I wish we could give him more.
Verdict in favor of the plaintiff.